Alright everyone, does everybody know why we are here today?
For spile sandwiches!
To discuss wages inequality.
For world peace. For trading purposes.
Because the creator wants to utilize me more?
Whatever the hell it just said!
To postmans and ship posts.
To satisfy the person that asked for me to be.
To mourn the loss of a loved one.
To argue over political ideologies.
Biscuits is correct. Gentlemen, we have come here today to discuss our futures through the umbrella of political debates. We have come a long way since we were tribesmen, and since then, we have all conquered at least 5 star systems each. As a result of our continued conquest, we must discuss our differences and gain strategies.
So we're just here to converse over diplomacy!
Exactly, medic. I'm going to love this.
I'd like to lodge a complaint.
Soldier, proceed with said complaint.
The Demonym Emperor has been known for being a lime spice dispensary, yet it has an excessive amount of political prisoners. Demo, why are you so peaceful, yet so intolerant at the same time?
We literally just had a civil war and you are complaining about political prisoners!
Exactly, Demo. You can't be high and evil at the same time. Also, why are you hoarding all your lime spice? Every single one of your colonies, with the exception of one, has rich lime spice deposits.
And lime spice, what I'm known for!
He means you are keeping it all for your own empire. Why are you such a parsimonious pansy?
Lime spice is the central part of my nation's economy! And you call me parsimonious!
He means in the sense of distribution.
You people are so unclear. I literally sell you lime spice on a regular basis. And you call me Arya.
Demonym, you do realize that lime spice is still illegal in many empires for a reason, right?
I don't give a damn when it's legal. It's mine, and nobody can change that.
You don't own the rights to use lime spice. You just want it all for yourself, just like the greedy simpleton you are.
You guys jump to conclusions so hard it's almost exhausting.
Exactly. You haven't subsided to little propaganda again, have you?
The devil's soul must not be available to those who explode it.
That's methamphetamine, you idiot.
Well, what would you name it?
Lime spice? You know, what normal people call it.
Relevant. Anyways, some of you realize that keeping political prisoners breaks the 13th rule of Galactic code, right?
There are 13 rules!
Actually, there are 21 rules. Yeah, so they will be reeled once tensions soar.
Demonym, you have been warned.
Wait, you arrested those political posers due to the Civil War.
What was the war over? Slavery!
No, a bunch of terrorists decided to attack us and convert some of our otherwise good citizens into traitorous domestics. We all had slavery before America even existed.
Yeah, America's the worst goddamn country to be in control of the world.
Sovereign entity!
Yeah, whatever still.
Engineer Hailey, I get that it's not a perfect nation, but calling it the worst in the world is a huge stretch.
America and the rest of the Western world outlawed homosexuality for a long while, calling it a mental disorder and prosecuting non-straight people.
Yeah, soldier, why does your empire do that?
My empire has bigger fish to fry.
Bitch, what the fuck?
Soldier, that is simply cringe.
Big splungus, you alright? Why would you say something like that, soldier?
LGBT rights are not what makes or breaks a nation.
You are simply wrong in that regard. The Middle East and Africa are bad because they don't allow LGBT people to exist.
Engineer, you are so misguided it's concerning. The problem with those regions is not the fact that they have little to no LGBT rights. The real problem is literally everything else about those regions.
Soldier, racism is intolerable among our brothers, and you knew that.
Engineer, I have nothing against Arabs or Africans. The people are not the problem. You damn liberal.
Yeah, soldier has a point. The LGBT rights of most nations is not usually the biggest upside or downside.
Exactly. LGBT rights are a tasty side dish. They're nice to have and can complete an already good meal, but they're far from what makes one good or bad.
You're right. The only country I can think of where LGBT rights are legitimately the biggest issue is, ironically enough, Japan.
You dare insult the great name of the Japanese islands, and I will have no choice but to flippin' destroy you.
Japanese nationalist.
Cringe cyborg.
Also, just because you allow homosexuality in your nation does not mean that gay people are welcomed or accepted in society.
I'm just gonna go on a tangent here and ask something important. What can what you're attracted to get you stigmatized? I haven't the slightest idea. I mean, if you're attracted to minors, you should be deleted from existence, but otherwise, who gives a damn?
Rather awkward silence.
Moving away from that sniper! Why do you also disallow homosexuality?
Because sperm should be used for reproduction, not recreation.
Interesting dichotomy, even if it is wrong and also archaic.
Yeah, Sniper, banning homosexuality is among the cringest of the cringy things you can do, bro.
No, bro, I know what that is. We're respected, speaks like you do, big spangus.
Thanks, mate.
That's not a compliment.
Hey, no fair.
I'd be good for this.
All correct, soldier. What do you mean by I've got bigger fish to fry?
My empire has a serious problem with drug smuggling, or druggling, as I call it. LGBTers were suspended when the emperor came to be, weren't considered until recently. My emperor also struggles with collecting and earning revenue, even through my state-owned enterprises.
State-owned enterprises? How could you betray the market economy by partaking in that practice?
I don't like taxes. They are too complicated and nobody likes them.
Well, they're the best ways for a government to make money. If a store offers cheap as hell products produced by the parent company from its catalog, only simpletons buy them.
Based metaphor, shut spy.
If taxes are so complicated, why not simplify them?
Taxation without representation is tyranny. Anybody who believes in those attitudes knows what they're doing.
Soldier, I think you need serious help. I'm bisexual, and if my government doesn't support me, highly unstable and has serious struggle issues. As you call them, I call bullcrap on your authority? Did I say something wrong?
Not in this age, you didn't.
What'd he say again?
Wanker.
That would be a good roast if you weren't a cringe-ass bigot.
You're bisexual. That's straight up ridiculous. You'd fool with yourself if you were on your good days.
Spy, come on, you're better than this.
Exactly, dumbass. Real men do not hate others for liking both boys and girls. Real men only hate others for liking little boys and little girls.
Yeah, I think we got that by now.
Scout! I didn't know you liked other boys and girls.
I wonder how indecisive he is. I know of some bisexuals who are rather indecisive. At least one runs a YouTube channel.
That's a stereotype! You smooth-brained conservative!
Odd to think that conservatives aren't all smooth-brained.
Who runs a YouTube channel again?
Not the one running this channel, obviously.
Stereotypes exist for a reason. I don't give a damn if even I have some of their traits.
You're bisexual?
You have a YouTube channel!
You're indecisive.
Scat yourself, waste your sperm, it's dangerous, and could lead you down the path of lust, which is a capital vice for a reason.
It's literally the least egregious capital vice, Christian Sniper.
That might explain some things!
Okay, fancy pansies, if me being bisexual is a problem to some of you, then why don't you give your deepest controversial secrets?
Or hot takes, as most call them now.
Israel is...
Just don't.
Well, if you're all too much of a cowardly group to give out your hot takes, then why don't you reveal your political ideologies instead?
Where should we?
Alright, bitch, you've just officially joined a political debate. Name your ideology right now.
Definitely funny, did laugh.
Fine. I am a conservative, a classic American one. At that, I believe in traditional values and lifestyles.
As a liberal, I am morally opposed to your very existence.
For what reason? We have to coexist. Why else would we be the only parties Americans vote for?
Or Canadians, or Englanders, or most other truly democratic nations.
Because if we were the same, how the frick would we be different?
That is why we only hit to genders. It is virtually impossible to define the traits of a third or fourth gender objectively. Anything masculine and feminine traits have existed for millennia, and making gender subjective would only confuse the masses.
How dare you criticize non-binary people like that? I should smite you for your bigoted opinions. God is non-binary, and you knew that.
God is clearly to his male, and you know that. Why do you people make up law for the Bible, when it is clearly stated in that to read?
Because the Bible should be subjective. This is our humor and fear. Ever heard of headcanons?
Everything we stand for is stated clearly in the Bible, and you think it should be up for interpretation. You're just recalling everything at this point.
If the Constitution for your religion is so set in stone, why are so many sects of Christianity? Checkmate, Christian bigot.
Because people practice their religion differently and didn't checkmate jack shit. You even read the Bible.
Nope, I'm secular. Besides, the Bible is too long for me to read.
People in charge says you should not be in charge of the government.
Says the idiot that voted Trump.
Now you're just being accusative. I'm a Christian Democrat. I believe in peaceful elections based on the 7 Avenue virtues.
Is one of those virtues bigotry?
Nah, there's only courage, charity, honesty, diligence.
Do not change the subject. You are a bigot, and you are defending yourself.
Sniper seriously needs some help? Your homophobia and hatred of non-binary people is outdated in this modern world. Get with the times, dumbass.
Lord, forgive me for what I will be forced to do. I am a green libertarian. I believe in natural preservation and limited government. I also love lime spice, as you could tell.
Lime spice is an addictive drug and you know that.
You're just destroying yourself doing those narcotics. Remember, if you do drugs, you go to hell before you do.
I'm on constant stimulants. Am I going to hell?
Ricky, those aren't bad drugs.
Tell me again what a good drug and a bad drug is.
Lime spice isn't addictive, you close-minded stupid idiot. Alcohol is 13 times more addictive than lime spice. And you dummies allow it across the board.
The devil is raw and attractive.
I thought you hated homosexuality.
Not anymore, Scootsy.
Besides, that was a metaphor. You need more brains.
Anyone else catch what lime spice is supposed to represent in this world?
Snipe, we already know what it represents. Audience is smarter than you think it is. Right?
I am a feudalist. I believe that thou should be ruled by kings, and they own all the land. The kings would also give land, or fiefs, and the lords are nobles who enter agreements with vassals, who allow peasants called serfs to live on parts of their land. You know the term landlord? I'm pretty sure it comes from that.
Actually, it comes from manorialism, which was a method of land ownership or tenure in parts of Europe, notably France and later England during the Middle Ages. Its defining features included a large, sometimes fortified manor house in which the lord of the manor and his dependents lived and administered a rural estate, and a population of laborers.
You do realize that's a form of feudalism, right?
Also, did you seriously just copy that from Wikipedia?
That's the joke.
Not funny, did not even come close to laughing.
Biscuit, with the goddamn hell you support such an outdated system? That's literally one from medieval times.
It worked for hundreds of years, then we just abandoned it for a hot new system. I call bullcrap. We need to go back to our roots and support an ideology that condemns corruption, suppression, and above all else, tyranny.
But don't most monarchical structures end up supporting those three things exactly?
The UK is a country with a monarchical system, and they seem to be doing just fine.
No! They committed various atrocities across the world and tried to rule over it with an iron fist. You know the saying, if two fish are fighting for the same stream, an Englishman has walked by.
Big spungus, that was 100 or so years ago. You're seriously one of the many dumbasses who believes that just because something bad happened within a system several generations ago, that the entire system now is absolutely terrible. History may matter, but not often in the moment.
The South literally condoned racial segregation for 100 years, and you Congress dolts never apologized.
You're one to talk. Also, what exactly is your problem here, anyways? The fact that the South, and by extension the United States, has history with racism? Newsflash, asshole, everything has history with racism. You do, Lord knows I do. Who cares, man? It's only a real relevant problem if it's in the moment, not if it happened ages ago. If existence as a whole has a history with racism, and you have a problem with that, then why don't you go cancel existence?
You have a history with racism.
How many ears do you have?
This boy here just said the smartest thing out of anything we've said so far. You deserve a Webster Award, biscuits.
Yeah, you're too kind.
Changing the subject. I believe in mimetism. Basically, if democracy has people voting or casting ballots, then mimetism is where people pass on their ideal government.
That's not even a real ideology.
Well, it should be. Democracy is a great system if under the right hands. follow Canada's way, not Russia's.
The partisans in politics is a complete undoing of it. Just take a look at America. It's two parties counted. Only two parties cannot coexist. We need a stronger central government.
Stronger central government. That is simply cringe-f. Servo.
I hate sour milk. Big spongers. It's too most people who aren't leftist sissies.
You didn't just seriously call people like a sissy, did you?
What gave you that idea?
I am a neoliberal. I believe in decreased regulation of financial markets and free market trade. Also try to foster better communications between nations and empires, hopefully to instant peace and coordination.
Exactly. You live in a similar ideology. It's called globalism.
Globalism! How many people have you exploited?
I do not exploit anybody. You right-leaning lighthead. I sell my products or stars to multiple different nations and empires, and they love it. I wish to ease tariffs between empires and nations, and remove trade barriers, so we can have the galactic market accessible for everybody.
How many slaves do you own?
For frick's sake, soldier, I condemn all forms of exploitation and cultural suppression. A galactic market may be a messy one, but it's not the kind of mess I would tolerate. If anything, I believe in more universal regulation across the board.
You want to regulate what exactly?
The economy and the market within it.
I still cannot believe your willingness to become Mr. Worldwide without considering the negative outcomes of that spy. You are not just a clown, you are the entire circus.
But I thought you loved clowns.
I flipping know that the Joker is not a good role model. Stop calling me a society hater.
I was talking about your adherence to the religion of Clussies.
It was making season. How could I have known she didn't want me?
I do not like the direction this is going in.
Changing the subject? Who else here wants to spout their ideologies? Be sure to check yourself before you Shrek yourself.
Mate, that's my line.
I believe in social democracy, or healthcare, or internet, or everything everybody needs on a day-to-day basis. Norway, Sweden, and Finland seem to be doing just fine with it.
There's a Finland! I know the others, but Finland. The only lands I know are Poland, England, Maryland, Iceland, and Fireland.
How do you not know what Finland is? What planet do you live on?
A different one than you, Scootsy. This is Spore 2080. We are heads of galactic empires after all.
But Heavy, you have the same damn problem as Big Spongus' ideology. Political partisans isn't a good idea in general, and we cannot handle two parties.
But non-democratic nations suck so goddamn hard. Just look at the USSR and how it screwed over its citizens beyond repair. It was so unsustainable that it destroyed the economy when they disestablished it in the early 90s.
You call it unsustainable, yet the disestablishment of it led to the downfall of Russia as a whole.
Communism barely works at all, and you have to like it, or you get executed. When you force people to like things, it becomes less mutual.
Well, it was to prevent revolutions. You don't want more civil wars, do you?
America allows its people to criticize the government, and they have only had one civil war.
America's a bad example in this regard. They're one of the most stable countries in the world.
Yeah, they're so stable they can barely handle crises. Just look at 2020 and how they completely fell apart that year.
Bitch, please, every nation fell apart that year. When did 20 was actual hell in year form?
Well, they reacted differently to it than others.
What's that? Every country is different in their own rights. What a humongous revelation.
And plus ratio plus you fell off plus fatherless Scott.
Big Spongus, I can't believe you.
I speak Twitterese. I do believe I am bilingual.
That's not even a real language.
I believe in monolism. My style of government is a meritocracy. Essentially, it is ruled by the most money-caked and most qualified people for the job. The goal is to rid us of corruption.
How will you define most moral? Morality is subjective for a reason.
The people least likely to screw up their political spectrum.
And that will be defined as...
The people that will screw over the least amount of other people.
And that includes...
Look, the better you are at telling right from wrong, the more qualified you will be too.
Oh, for frick's sake, medic. Just to get to the point?
Look, it's a political system based on morality and political cleanliness. It is an anti-corrupt system, essentially.
I have no idea what the freak this guy is saying.
Yeah, he's essentially saying do the right thing in political ideology form.
Exactly! This motherfucker right here got them fake beliefs!
How unfocused do you have to be to believe in that system? Well, a bit so, to be frank.
Yeah, Medic, you're making no sense whatsoever.
I believe in distributism. I wish to distribute goods and services among the people equally. Effectively, everyone gets the same amount of N kind of stuff.
This was also too vague in his description.
Exactly, Demo. We could see every gear in his head grinding as he comes up with the most milquetoast basic ideology I think we've ever seen.
Look, it is really convoluted, especially in actually carrying it out, alright?
Ricky, what you're describing is functionally impossible. You can never truly distribute items equally to everyone else, for that would require a level of efficiency that no empire today or tomorrow will ever have. Your system will never work because of human greed and a constant need to equalize quantities of items that everyone has, leading to an inevitable crash of the system because everybody will always have differing amounts of stuff.
And what the frick kinds of stuff are you talking about anyways? You and Medic share much in common despite your differences.
I'm starting to reconsider joining this political discussion. I came here to listen to other people's ideologies, and all they do is judge each other and make them look bad. I don't like politics. They're dangerously controversial. All they do is tear people apart. Good thinking people. People with families, interests, and passions. Politics do not feel. They only harm.
Alright, we Air Scouts, Soldier, Bird, Heavy, Bro, spies at my ideology here. What is your ideology, Engineer?
Boys, I have listened to most of your ideologies today, and I have made one major conclusion.
You haven't listened to all of our ideologies.
You're a lazy son of a gun!
You want to sell out your beliefs?
You want to renounce your religion. My fanatical frenzy would like to convince you otherwise.
Sniper, that breaks the 7th rule of the Galactic Code.
I reckon what Angie's gonna say will break even more.
You need to spare sandwiches.
You need more screen time?
Y'all need better beliefs, you hear? All your beliefs are completely garbage, and that's why I believe in only the best ideology, anarcho-communism.
Oh, gotta be freaking kidding me with this pile of...
And funny means soldier. Get a new one.
Oh, here! Give me a break with these horrendous ideologies!
Much better! Oh, so good heavens, you believe in fucking what, Engineer?
Come the hell on, Engineer. Anarchy never works, communism never works. I'm half convinced even you don't ever work either.
What makes you pile of asses think anarchy and communism never work? Ain't a negative times a negative be equal a positive.
First off, you have no math skills, Grease McNo.
Second off, it never works because people will inevitably group up to form forms of government, defining anarchy as self-defeating.
Third off, communism will never ever work due to human greed and corruption and the need to provide struggle between the workers and the means of production.
Fourth off, you're deliberately causing tension between you and your citizens by making them like you. Remember, Angie boy, if you force somebody to like you, they never will.
Fifth off, if you get a revolution, you deserve a goddamn revolution, you sissy.
Sixth off, the above is true unless you are Iran. Iran was fine before it became an anti-American pile of imbeciles.
Seventh off, you're a long
Away from having if you're to horribly mistreated workers.
Eighth off, you smell like a wet sandwich, Engineer.
Don't you tell me off about my completely correct ideology, you damn counter-revolutionaries. My boss here would like a word with you.
Your boss. We're your boss, you dumbass mutineer.
Also, you're breaking the 9th rule of Galactic Code by making food free for everyone. I understand wanting to distribute it equally, but unfortunately, we live in an imperfect world, and distributing something as important as food equally among everyone is next to impossible.
I can't believe you, Engineer. In fact, I believe you sold your traitor's ass over here before I blurt it off.
Call off your fighter before I blast it to pieces.
Now that's a good one. Sponges of the big type.
You're not fighting anybody. Nobody is, in fact. That's because I have a planet buster.
You don't have a planet buster. Shoot. You do.
I have one too. I bought it from the Galactic market.
You have one. I have literally thousands. If you want in, get your counter-revolutionary asses over here and get assimilated.
This mate's gonna hell for certain.
Religion's for the weak and mentally departed. State secularism is where it's at.
You have completely lost all of my trust, engineer. You're not the only one who's lost all of his trust.
You dare distance yourself from me. I shall destroy all y'all before you get too powerful.
I see actually do we have planet busters. Anyways.
To silence counter-revolutionaries and protect my existence. Would you want to die for your opinions?
Says the guy who wants to kill everybody who doesn't also believe in communism.
Don't y'all believe in self-preservation? You're all a bunch of spineless worms, and you. Give me your all, dummies.
Well, if you say so. Clearly, they were outclassed.
Thanks, spy. That could have been a disaster.
Exactly. The last thing we need in this world is more bloody stupid ideologies. In fact, oh, bet you he's in there right now.
Hello, comrades! You all wish to become shells of yourselves by not adhering to my superior ideology!
What in God's name could that be?
3 words, comrades! Totalitarianism, eugenics, and imperialism.
Oh God, that is horrifully bad!
Heavy tools, don't fucking touch him! He's just a bat!
Anything can be counter-revolutionary. Anything.
I am that, not a big surprise.
This is counter-revolutionary.
You prove this. You are counter-revolutionary.
But I swear to God, I am not subscribing to that garbage pail of ass.
Your empire's leader was assassinated via wearing blades at game over.
Gosh dang it. I should change my strategy next time. Say those planet busters remind me of another particularly powerful weapon.
You sound enjoying that new sport game still.
Yes, I love it. It's so deep, and you can create the whole universe in your own way.
That's nice to know. I love you.
So do I, Daddy.
Hey, let's go. The festival we've been waiting for since February.
Okay, Daddy. Let's go do that.
I'm coming.
It's that thing that can be interpreted in a sexual context.